हेलो एवरीवन। इस वीडियो में हम क्लास 6 की बीबीसी के रीडिंग सेक्शन के सारे प्रैक्टिस असाइनमेंट सॉल्व करने वाले हैं। रीड द फॉलोइंग पोएम केयरफुली। मॉनसून। वेयर डू द फिश गो व्हेन द मॉनसून थंडर्स ऑन द वाटर एंड द foam churns like milk। तो इसमें वर्ड मीनिंग्स की बना पढ़ लेते हैं। व्हाट इज फॉर्म? अ मास ऑफ वेरी स्मॉल एयर बबल्स ऑन द surface of a liquid and creep to move slowly। Where do the birds hide when the trees fall in high winds and all the fruit lies everywhere on field and ground? Where do people run when the rain comes through the thatchet and the floods keep in on them like thieves? Tick the correct option for each of the following sentences. In the first stanza, the poet compares water to milk because it is full of white foam, it is full of fish, it reflects the lightning, it reflects the monsoon clouds. The correct answer is first, it is full of white foam. The fruit lies everywhere on field and ground because no one has picked it up. It has been plucked and scattered by strong winds. And this is correct answer. इसके बाकी के ऑप्शंस भी रीड कर लेते हैं। बर्ड्स हैव थ्रोन इट हियर एंड देयर आफ्टर पेकिंग एट इट हैज फॉलन फ्रॉम द फार्मर्स कार्ट। In the third stanza, the poet compares the movement of flood to that of rain, people, thieves, or running. The correct answer is third, thieves. In this poem, the poet describes how monsoon occur in India, discusses the advantages of monsoon season, suggests some ways to stay protected during the monsoon season, wonders how monsoon rain affects trees, birds, and people. The correct answer is fourth, wonders how the monsoon rain affects trees, birds, and people. Next, E part, monsoon can force fish, birds and people to seek alternative seasons, shelters, food, weather. Correct answer is shelters. Given below is the summary of the poem completed by writing the missing word in the space. The poem describes the different sounds and movements of the rainy season and how it affects fish, birds, trees, and people. The poet wonders where these creatures go when rain strikes. The monsoon winds churn the seawater and makes it full of foam. They fell trees and scatter fruit everywhere. The rains cause the thatched roofs of huts to leak, forcing people to run away from their homes in search of safe, dry places. Do you enjoy the rainy season? Answer yes or no. Give two reasons for your opinion, including information from the text. I simply love the rainy season. The first showers of the seasons are invigorating and fragrant and bring the welcome relief from the sizzling summer heat, and things get much more exciting as the rainy season progresses. Moreover, rains usher in seasonal change and are vital for agriculture. Rains are awesome and rains are welcome always. अब हम करेंगे प्रैक्टिस असाइनमेंट 2। तो इस पोयम में हमारे पास जो मीनिंग्स आने वाले कुछ वर्ड्स हैं उनकी हम मीनिंग्स देख लेते हैं। ड्रीड, ग्रेट फियर, डेस्पेयर, डिसअपॉइंटमेंट और अनहैप्पीनेस, कैटास्ट्रोफे, डिजास्टर, रेटल, गेट अपसेट और इरिटेटेड। Read the following poem carefully. Be glad your nose is on your face. Be glad your nose is on your face, not pasted on some other place, for if it were where it is not, you might dislike your nose a lot. Imagine if your precious nose were sandwiched in between your toes, that clearly would not be a treat, for you would be forced to smell your feet. Your nose would be a source of dread. Were it attached atop your head, it soon would drive you to despair, forever tickled by your hair. Within your ear, your nose would be an absolute catastrophe, for when you were obliged to sneeze, your brain would rattle from the breeze. Your nose, instead, through thick and thin, remains between your eyes and chin, not pasted on some other place. Be glad your nose in your face. Take the correct option for each of the following statements. The poet believes that the nose is right where it is because it cannot be pasted anywhere. People would have disliked it any other position. People couldn't have smelt anything, it would have been sandwiched between toes. The correct answer is second. People would have disliked it in any other position. A nose on head would have irritated the owner because it would have come off, it would have been hidden in hair, it would have been out of reach, it would have been tickled by hair. The correct answer is fourth. It would have been tickled by hair. The breeze in stanza 4 refers to wind blowing into the air that is breathed in, current of air caused by sneezing, sensation in the brain. The correct answer is current of air caused by sneezing. By the expression thick and thin, the poet means different sizes of noses, good and bad times, close relatives and friends, or shapes of noses. The correct answer is good and bad times. This poem is an example of dash poem. This is humorous. Given below is the summary of the poem completed by writing the missing word in the space provided. In the poem, the poet argues that the best place for the nose is between the eyes and the chin. No one would like it to be pasted anywhere else except the face. Had it been sandwiched between our toes, we would have died of smelling our dirty feet, and a nose at the top of our head would have been irritated by the tickling feel of our hair. If it had been in our eyes, our sneezing must have rattled by our brain. So we should be glad that the nose stays on our face through all our good and bad times. Which option lists the image that shows your understanding of sandwiched between? The correct answer is option C. Next, what important lesson for life can you learn from the poem? This hilarious poem teaches us the important lesson that everything in life has a place and purpose, which need to accept. We must stop grumbling if things are not the way we want them to be. Instead, we need to accept them as they are. अब हम करेंगे प्रैक्टिस असाइनमेंट 3. Read the following passage carefully. In the United States of America, even children of wealthy parents do part-time jobs and earn their money instead of relying on their parents for everything. This teaches the children several things. For one, it teaches them about the dignity of labor. No work is big or small, and work itself is dignity. Second, it teaches children the value of money and hard work. When you know how much work it takes to make money, you stop asking your parents to buy you things that are expensive and not necessary. However, in India, it is mostly the poor students or children who end up doing part-time jobs to supplement their income. The middle class and upper class school students do not generally do part-time work of the productive variety. To some extent, it is also because as a society we do not encourage children to work. We in India think that it is better to study and get good grades so that one can have a cushy job instead of doing trivial work. However, some of the richest people in the world are the ones who started working early even when they were children. Take the correct option for each of the following statements. The authors attitude to most American school children's practice of doing part-time jobs along with their studies is one of admiration, criticism, disbelief, or jealousy. The correct answer is first, admiration. This teaches the children several things. Here, this refers to the practice of doing only part-time jobs, teaching wealthy children dignity of labor, depending on parents for everything, doing part-time jobs along with studies. The correct answer is fourth, doing part-time jobs along with studies. See, this teaches the children several things. The author lists these several things in which of the following paragraphs? Paragraph 1, paragraph 2, paragraph 3 or paragraph 4. The correct answer is paragraph 2. In the last paragraph, the author is describing how some people were forced to labor as children, why some people started working early in their lives, what made people successful in their lives, how some successful people started working early in their lives. The correct answer is fourth, how some successful people started working early in their lives. Which of the following is the best description of the theme of the passage? Difference between American and Indian societies, general tips for parents of school going children, importance of children learning to value money and hard work, wealthy people's attitude to wealth and dignity of labor. The correct answer is third, importance of children learning to value money and hard work. Complete the following statements as briefly as possible. Two important lessons that most American children who do part time jobs learn are first, dignity of labor, and second, value of money and hard work. Most children stop asking their parents for expensive but unnecessary things when they know how much work it takes to make money. Children who often have to do part time jobs in India usually belong to poor class. Such children do part time jobs in order to supplement their family income. Many parents in India do not encourage their children to work because they think it is better to study and get good grades so that one can have a cushy job instead of doing trivial work. In your opinion, is your mindset more like that of an American children or Indian children? Give reasons from text to support your answer. My mindset is more like that of American children. I wish to learn to earn enough for myself so that I am not dependent on my parents. Instead, I would like to help them financially as much as I can, working like American children will help me value dignity of labor. I will also learn to value money and to spend it wisely. अब हम करेंगे प्रैक्टिस असाइनमेंट 4. Read the following passage carefully. Wild tigers could become extinct in the next 20 years if countries fail to take quick action to protect their habitats and step up the fight against poaching. Global wildlife experts told a Tiger Summit in November 2010, where governments, communities, and conservation groups had come together to secure a future for tigers. If the proper protective measures aren't taken, tigers may disappear within the next decade, at least in the wild. The summit approved a wide ranging program with the goal of doubling the world's tiger population in the wild from about 3,200 to more than 7,000 by next tiger lunar year 2022. It was backed by governments of the 13 countries that still have tiger populations: Bangladesh, Bhutan, Cambodia, China, India, Indonesia, Laos, Malaysia, Myanmar, Nepal, Thailand, Vietnam, and Russia. The Global Tiger Recovery Program estimates the country will need about $350 million in outside funding in the first 5 years of the 12-year plan. The summit will be seeking donor commitments to help governments finance conservation measures. The summit is driven by the Global Tiger Initiative (GTI), which was launched in 2008 by World Bank President Robert Jolik. About 30% of the program's cost would go towards suppressing the poaching tigers and of the animals they prey on. Tick the correct options for each of the following statements. First, Dash can ensure help in saving tigers from extinction. Quick action, protected habitats, wildlife experts, or tiger summits. The correct answer is first, quick actions. Second, a fear expressed in the first paragraph is wildlife experts will issue a warning. Poaching may not be checked. Tigers could become extinct in the next 20 years. The correct answer is third, tigers could become extinct in the next 20 years. See, the goal of the program approved by the Tiger Summit is to seek donations from NGOs to tiger back tiger conservation programs of 13 countries to raise $350 million for tiger conservation to increase tiger population to more than 2 times the tiger present figures. The correct answer is 4 to increase tiger population to 10 more times 2 times the present figure. Read the facts and opinions given below. Select the option that identifies them correctly. First, wild tigers could become extinct in the next 20 years. Second, the summit was backed by governments of the 13 countries. Third, the Global Tiger Initiative was launched in 2008. Fourth, the countries will need about $350 million in outside funding. The correct option is fourth. Second and third are facts and others are opinion. Next, E part, select the option that does not suggest the meaning of suppressing as used in paragraph 5 of the passage, controlling, stopping, ending or encouraging. The correct answer is fourth, encouraging. Complete the following statements as briefly as possible. First, the passage deals with the problem of decreasing population of wild tigers. Second, two steps tiger experts recommend to prevent the extinction of tigers are first, protect their habitats. Second, check poaching. A major portion of $350 million will be used for checking poaching of tigers and the animals they prey on. Fourth, some of this money may come from governments. The rest of it may be collected through donations. E. Robert Jolik, the World Bank president, is responsible for launching the Global Tiger Initiative. What steps would you like to suggest to protect tigers from getting extinct? List at least 2 practical steps and explain why it is important to take each of them. Many steps can be taken to protect tigers from getting extinct. First, I need an international cooperation program to stop illegal trade of tiger body parts so that the problem of poaching can be rooted out. Second, some tiger habitat areas need to be developed into tiger sanctuaries, which means a total ban on hunting. Third, at selected centers where the environment is conducive, tiger breeding centers should be established and tigers thus born should be released into the wild. Fourth, a regular tiger census should be carried out every year, especially after the breeding season to assess the rise or fall in the tiger population and to plan and execute further conservation programs. Question 4. Imagine the tigers could speak like human beings. What do you think a tiger would say at a tiger summit? Write at least three key statements that he or she would like to make. You have been given one example. Example: if you wish to see us survive, please do not destroy our habitats. First, we do not wish to harm you. or kill your cattle and poultry for food. We wish to exist in peace with you, but away from you. Second, we like hills, plains, forests, and deltas. Please do not destroy them. Third, you are the most intelligent of God's creations. Find out find other ways of treating your diseases. Do not hunt us for the thrill you get for our body parts that you claim have miraculous healing powers. Fourth, instead of killing us, write poems, plays, and stories about us. Make films on us and make us your national animals and mascots. Fifth, remember we have a right to life in dignity, just like you and any other creature on this earth has. Please respect that right. अब हम करेंगे प्रैक्टिस असाइनमेंट 5। Read the following passage carefully. Little joys. During one vacation to my hometown, I was at the railway station with my parents. As we were waiting for our train, something caught my attention. Two small children, perhaps siblings, were seeking alms nearby. Though they appeared at ease, I was shocked by their overall untidiness. When they approached us, my father promptly gave the older one, a girl, some money. Those were the days when I was constantly reminded of the virtues of sharing things with others. So, when my mother nursed me, I knew why, and the look my mother gave me confirmed. I had a pack of my favorite chocolates in my pocket, and even though I pretended to have forgotten about it, she remembered them. I was devastated. With a heavy heart, I fished out one and placed it reluctantly on the outstretched hand of the girl. She flashed a smile and the duo moved on. But my gaze never left them as I wanted to know about the fate of my chocolate. After a while, I saw her unwrap it. She then did something which moved me. Without moment's hesitation, she put the chocolate in her brother's mouth and watched his face brighten up as he savored it. Her action puzzled me. Why did she not eat it herself? Regret and shame overcame me when I realized that I had deliberately given them only one chocolate. I quickly decided to give her one more chocolate voluntarily. Strangely, my action made me feel better than I had thought. As our train approached the station, the little girl rushed to give me something. It was a small paper doll which she had made with the wrapper of the chocolates. I was speechless. Was she trying to convey a thank you? Throughout the journey, my thoughts were about the girl. Numerous questions came to my mind and I turned to my parents for answer. Nowadays, street children is a topic that is close to heart. All of us are aware about the existence of church children and their plight. Charity helps, but it is not a long time solution. But aren't they entitled to a better life like us? That little girl taught me the joy of sharing and also answered one big question of why should I give? I now ask why not, as sharing is all about loving. Happiness abounds when shared. Years have rolled by and I still cherish that valuable lesson I learned during that vacation. Sometimes life teaches us things we fail to learn from classrooms. I still think of that girl and her brother and wonder where they would be now. Those sparkling eyes and beautiful smile. Question 1. Complete the following statements as briefly as possible. First, the author's mother nudged her because she wanted to encourage her daughter to give something to the beggar children. B. The author felt devastated because she had been asked to share her favorite chocolate with the two street children and she hated sharing. See, the duo moved on. The duo referred to here is the little girl and her brother. D. The author kept looking at the children even as they moved on because she wanted to know what they would do with the chocolate. Part E. The author was moved by the sisters' gesture of putting the chocolate in her brother's mouth and watch him savor it because she did not eat the chocolate that was meant for her. F. The author was overcome by shame and regret because the girl had readily shared the chocolate with her brother while the author was reluctant that to give it away for her. G. The narrator's action of giving one more chocolate to the little girl made her feel better. H. H. The little girl gave the narrator a paper doll made with the wrapper of chocolates because She wanted to thank her for giving her two chocolates. The valuable lesson learned by the author was sharing is all about loving and happiness abounds when shared. Second, which of the following adequately replaces she flashed a smile? First, she put on a very faint smile of joy. Second, she put on a quick and brilliant smile of gratitude. Correct answer is B. Part C has she put on an artificial smile of thanks. D has she put on an awkward smile to hide her sense of shame. तो ये दोनों रॉन्ग है. थर्ड हम रीड करेंगे विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग करेक्टर ट्रेट्स ऑफ द ऑथर एज अ यंग गर्ल आर हाईलाइटेड हियर. तो करेक्ट आंसर है हमारे पास सेल्फिश तो नहीं है, केयरिंग है वो, लविंग भी है, जेलस नहीं है, प्राउड नहीं है, जेनरस है, ग्रीडी नहीं है, हेल्पफुल है. फोर्थ क्वेश्चन रीड करेंगे. फाइंड एंड कॉपी वन वर्ड दैट मीन द सेम एज पुश जेंटली विद एल्बो. तो इसका मतलब होता है nudged. Question number 5. Find and copy one word that means the same as appreciated and enjoyed the taste of something. इसका मतलब होता है savour. 6. What does the expression years have rolled by mean? It means a lot of time has passed since then. 7. Quote two expressions from the text to show the author's reluctance in sharing her chocolate. First, I pretended to have forgotten it. Second, with a heavy heart, I fished out one and placed it reluctantly on the outstretched hand of the girl. Question 8. Had you been the little sister, would you have given the entire chocolate to your younger brother? Answer yes or no. Give two reasons for your opinion using examples from the text. Answer no way. I would have divided the chocolate into two equal parts, one for my younger brother and one for myself This way, we both would have enjoyed eating it. Moreover, we would have valued the joy of sharing and loving. अब हम करेंगे प्रैक्टिस असाइनमेंट 6. Read the following story carefully. Priya's realization. At times, Priya couldn't believe that her mother was actually her mother. Priya had an identical twin named Renu on whom mother showered all her love. At least that's what Priya felt. She held a grudge against her mother because she felt her mother gave her little jobs to do while she gave none to Renu. Priya, would you keep this vessel in the fridge? Mother, would you call out from the kitchen? Priya, would P, who would be playing outside, would run into the kitchen, take the vessel, and place it carefully in the fridge, ensuring that its lid was intact. And again she would run back to play. Mother hardly gave any jobs to Renu. It was a surprise for Priya when she heard mother calling out one day, Renu, will you hang this shirt on the clothes hanger in the bedroom? Priya watched Renu as she reluctantly walked towards the balcony. She grabbed the shirt, ran to the bedroom, and threw it casually on the hanger. Priya, who was behind her, looked upset to see the way her sister had hung the shirt. She adjusted the shirt properly on the clothes hanger so that it would dry evenly. Next day, after the assembly at school, Priya was enjoying a game of basketball with her classmates. A senior girl came abruptly. Who is Priya? She asked. Priya stepped forward. Miss Renu wants you in 6th C, she said. Why has Miss Reena called me? Priya wondered. Certainly, Miss has other favorites in the class. When she entered the class, she saw Miss Reena talking a few students. Priya, would you please keep these registers in your class cupboard? I will be there shortly, she said, handing over the registers. Miss Reena patted Priya and said, when I give you some work, I am assured that it will be done properly. Priya could not believe what she heard, so she thought Miss Reena has confidence in my ability and hence she prefers me over others whenever she has an important job. Feeling happy, she walked towards her class carrying the registers. She halted for a moment. Maybe mother also feels confident about my abilities. That is the reason she entrusts me with little jobs at home. She realized her folly in presuming that her mother loved her less than Renu. The realization made Priya's eyes gleam with joy. अब क्वेश्चन नंबर 1 करेंगे. Complete the following statements as briefly as possible. First, Renu did not get much work to do because she was reluctant and very casual while doing work. Part B. One day Priya was surprised to hear her mother ask Renu to hang a shirt on the clothes hanger in the bedroom because normally Renu was not assigned such jobs. Priya's mother and her teacher gave her jobs to do because they were confident about her abilities. They were sure that Priya would perform all the jobs properly and to the best of her abilities. Priya was wrong in believing that her mother loved her less than Renu. Take the correct option for each of the following statements. First, what grudge did Priya have against her mother? First, her mother loved Renu more than her. Second, her mother did not trust her. Third, her mother was not confident about her abilities. Fourth, her mother gave her little jobs to do, but none to Renu. First, her mother loved Renu more than her. Second, at the end of the story, Priya felt dash and dash. Confident and happy. C. Select the option that lists the correct match of the word to its meaning. First, grudge means complaint. Second, abruptly means suddenly. C. Halted, stopped. Fourth, folly, mistake. Gleam, shine. Correct answer is fourth. Third, column A of the table below lists the different feelings Priya had at different times in the story. Quote textual evidence in column B to explain why Priya felt that way. You have been given one example. Bitter and pleased. से इसका एग्जाम्पल हमें गिवन है. First, disappointed and upset. Her sister Renu was often reluctant to work and would do things casually. Second, proud and confident. Miss Reena patted her on back and showed confidence in her abilities to perform important jobs. C. Sorry and ashamed. She realized she was wrong in thinking that her mother loved her less than Renu. Fourth, select two pieces of evidence from the story to show that Priya was a well organized and efficient girl. First, she would keep the vessel carefully in the fridge, ensuring that its lid was intact. B. Once she adjusted the washed shirt properly on hanger so that it dried up evenly. Fifth, in your opinion, is your mindset more like Priya's or Renu's? Give reasons to support your answer. I think I am more like Priya. I like to keep things in an apple pie order. I like to hear the compliments. Oh, how organized you are. Being organized and systematic ensures that your day is smooth and your work is hassle free. Question 6. List two weaknesses that Priya should work on eliminating from her personality. Give reasons why she needs to remove these weaknesses. I think Priya needs to work on two things. Never to bear grudges against anyone without having sufficient reasons For doing so, she failed to understand how much more her mother valued and trusted her. Then she trusted Renu. Another thing Priya needs to work on is having a better self esteem. She is unable to see and value enough the good that she has naturally. अब हम करेंगे प्रैक्टिस असाइनमेंट 6A फैक्ट्स अबाउट रेन फॉरेस्ट. Rainforests only cover around 2% of the total surface area of the earth, but really about 50% of the plants and animals on the earth live in the rainforest. Rainforests are constantly being destroyed by multinational logging companies, landowners, and state government to make way for new colonies and industrial units. Rainforests are found on all the different continents except for Antarctica because it is far too cold there for the environment to be conducive. Rainforests help to regulate the temperature around the world and the weather patterns as well. 70% or more of the plants that are used to treat cancer are found only in the tropical rainforest of the planet. A fifth of our fresh water is found in tropical rainforest, the Amazon basin to be exact. Complete the following statements as briefly as possible. Rainforests are being destroyed to make way for new colonies and industrial units. B. Some agencies responsible for the destruction of rainforest are: first, multinational lodging companies, landowners. Third, state governments. C. Rainforests are not found in Antarctica because it is too cold for rainforest to exist. Nearly 20% of fresh water is found in the Amazon basin alone. Second,
Select the option that can replace the word conductive as used in the poster. Unsuitable, difficult, favorable, or controllable. Correct answer is favorable. Question number 3. Do you think rainforests are important? Answer yes or no. Give at least 4 reasons using examples from the poster to support your opinion. First, 50% of plants and animals on the earth live in them. They help regulate temperatures around the world. They regulate weather patterns in the world. D. More than 70% of plants used to treat cancer are found in them. E. One-fifth of all fresh water is found in the tropical rainforests of the Amazon basin. Fourth, suggest 2 steps that can be taken to save the rainforest. We must stop felling of trees in the rainforest. The rainforest cover already lost must be restored. Our industries must reduce their dependence on rainforest and no more rainforest should be cleared for urbanization and agriculture.